51551 is the text. You can tweet the programme at RTE Arena. Last night, the biggest rock band in the world and Ireland's most famous musical export, U2, brought their Innocence and Experience tour to the 3 Arena in Dublin. It was the first of a 4-night run in the band's hometown. Roisin Dwyer went along to see them play. She's with me in studio this evening. Roisin, they've already played 2 dates in Belfast last week, but how long has it been since they last played here in Dublin? It's a while.
It is a while, and it's actually remarkably, since they played the venue that the Point, as it was at the time, was back in 1989, and that was the famous occasion when Bono said, we have to, we are going to go away now and make it all up again. And I mean, they have, when you think of what they've done since 1989, constantly reinventing themselves, but they haven't done an arena tour since 2006, so the opportunity to see them in a venue of this size was just absolutely, it was an honour actually to see them. And I managed to, I had a standing ticket, so myself and some savvy friends managed to get up to the very front indeed.
Oh, very well done for that. Okay, 51551, as they say, is the text for people who were there last night or who remember great U2 tours and performances of the past, who are looking forward to going to the Dublin performances later this week. 51551 to let us know your thoughts on that. All right, we're talking about the songs of innocence and the songs of experience, particularly the songs of innocence. This, the release of the album caused such a furore at the time.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have had a rocky few years, even back to the making of this album. If you remember, it was a difficult birth. There were rumours a few years ago, they're making an album with Danger Mouse. It's going to be a rock album. Oh no, now they're making a dance album. Then, there was lots of stops and starts. Then, of course, they parted ways with longtime manager Paul McGuinness. Then there was, Bono's bicycle accident. And then there was the mode in which they released the album, which seemed to, I can't understand it, offend lots of people. Some people felt it was
forced upon them.
Yes, when which is quite ridiculous. But anyway.
Not for the people who felt it.
Well, yes, indeed. Well, sorry, in my opinion. So it has been a really rocky few years for the band, but last night's show, I think, was just a return to form and just really crystallised for me the importance of this act and how important they are to, as I felt, actually very proud and quite emotional. And I think U2 as a live act have that ability to do that, to sort of unite an audience in a really special way.
And I suppose particularly with this tour, because the songs of innocence, they hark back to the growing up experience of the lads on the north side of Dublin, and I'm guessing that the immediate reaction from a Dublin audience must have been so positive here.
Of course. I mean, they opened with The Miracle of Joey Ramone from the new album, lashed into Electric Company from Boy, Vertigo, I Will Follow. There was those 4 songs that just got everyone really excited. And then Bono said, for the last few months we've been trying to explain to people what the north side of Dublin is like, and now we're here, we're home, we're amongst family. He really just set out a stall for this. We're amongst friends here. This is going to be a special, intimate occasion.
All right. I suppose we should explain Songs of Innocence, Songs of Experience. Obviously a nod to William Blake and his poems, but
yes.
How do the songs differ from each other in those two qualities, and how does the stage reflect that?
Yes, well, the stage setup firstly is very impressive. There's the main stage, then there's a walkway extending out, and there's a smaller stage, and then above that there is a video cage, which is basically an extended walkway which has video screens on either side, which project out to the audience, and the band can walk within that. So, for example, on the song Cedarwood Road, Bono essentially you're viewing him walking down the road of his childhood, which is extremely special indeed. The first section of the show is meant to be songs of innocence, those songs that hark back to their youth, and then the later songs are deemed to be songs of experience, the songs of the later years.
And I suppose when people think of big productions, Zoo TV, Pop Mart, particularly well known, big props, huge effects, then there was the 360 tour from 2009 and that giant claw over the stage. How theatrical is this particular show?
It's it is a fantastic spectacle in terms of the use of visuals, and as I said, that video cage and their movement around from the main stage to the walkway to the band performing in the video cage themselves. There's just constant movement. It's very fluid, like they move sort of through the themes. Bono, after the first 4 songs, talks about moments of loss, and then you're brought into Iris, the wonderful song about his mother, and there are photos of her projected.
It's a really personal album in that respect.
It's such a personal album, it really is. And then Iris is followed by Cedarwood Road, which is, of course, his memories of his home and growing up, and he speaks about his childhood. And this is such a personal show, harking back to their formative years, to everything that made them the musicians that they are.
But there are a couple of political aspects to this concert as well, not just the personal side of things, particularly around the Justice for the Forgotten group. Just explain, because that's going to be a big element of tonight's concert, an even bigger element, in fact, of tonight's concert. Explain how the songs Sunday Bloody Sunday and Raised by Wolves fit into the whole evening.
Yes, well, Sunday Bloody Sunday, of course, is the classic song, and Raised by Wolves is a song on the new album which tells the story of the 1974 bombings. And U2 have gotten very heavily involved. They have taken up the campaign for the Justice for the Forgotten group, who want the British government to release the documents connected with the deaths of the people who died during those bombings.
This is the Dublin Monaghan bombings, yes.
And during the performances of those 2 songs, there are photographs of all the victims shown on the video cage, and it is a very, very touching, very, very touching moment.
And the references to Syria, were there any references to the Paris attacks?
Yes, at the towards the end of the show, the tricolour on the stage, and Bono...
A tricolour, a French tricolour?
Yes, a French tricolour, sorry, yes. And Bono saying liberté, égalité, fraternité. Now, they rescheduled their Paris show, and this went down in different ways with various factions, but Bono has said, it's this solidarity, and it was done respectfully.
All right. I think we have a fair idea where you're going to come from. I want to read 2 texts that have come in. Not a major fan of U2, but I went last night. Wow, I now see why they are one of the world's greatest bands. Fantastic time, fantastic show, says Aubrey in Tiglin. Then was at the gig last night. Unfortunately, found it unbelievably self-indulgently histrionic. Who on earth cares that Bono grew up in the Semi-D in Fairview? And what on earth is so special about that, says Bob in County Meath. Well, it wasn't Fairview, but that's a moot point.
Bob.
Yeah. But those 2 texts, I suppose they sort of will probably exemplify the whole country, because he really is a divisive figure, Bono, isn't he?
He is such a divisive figure, yes. But, I mean, if you are interested in a musician or artist and their work, you have to be interested in what informed that work. And they have visited different parts of their lives on different albums, and this latest album, they have come out and said, this is about our childhood, this is about our formative years. This is that tour. So, of course, the tour is going to reflect. Why do you think it is?
Why is he such a divisive figure? Why do we have, those extremes of opinion, Bob's in County Meath and Aubrey's in Tiglin? They're opposite ends of the spectrum.
I think because anyone who is popular and has an opinion and is an artist of strong character, I think divides people. Because to be an artist of strong character and force, you have to have, a forceful personality and a belief in yourself. And Ireland is a nation of begrudgers, and some of us don't like people with that sense of self-belief.
All right. I have no doubt that you would be saying to people, if you can get a ticket, I believe they're costing a fortune on eBay, but if you can get a ticket for any of the remaining gigs, you'd be recommending it?
Absolutely.
The sound was exceptional. Ultimate professionals, there will always be grudgers, says Dara. Begrudgers, says Dara. So I guess Dara's kind of on the same wavelength as you on that particular one. I'm going to finish up by listening to a track, City of Blinding Lights. Where does this fit into everything on the night?
It was actually a gorgeous segment, City of Blinding Lights. It came towards the end of the show. There was a Stephen Hawking excerpt talking about humanity and how we all have to live together and share the planet together. And then there was sort of shots of Dublin, you know, the city that they always come home to. And then they went to the City of Blinding Lights.